There's just over 2 weeks left before Lightfall, and there are a ton of great craftable seasonal weapons that will be getting vaulted from the HELM. If you have limited time till now and then and you're panicking about which weapons to focus for those daily red borders, then here are 5 weapons you cannot afford to miss out on. These weapons have all dominated the PvP meta at some point or another, and with Bungie constantly shifting the sandbox from season to season, you'll want them in your inventory or vault in case they ever become number 1 again. All 5 weapons I'm going to be recommending are actually insane right now as well. Before I start the list, here's a top tip to immediately reduce your grinding time. Ignore the star chart at the HELM. Not only is grinding for plundered umbral energy extremely slow, but none of the weapons from the star chart focusing are particularly great for PvP. So in number 5 we have the 300 RPM sidearm Drang. Now sidearms as a whole got a big buff earlier in the year with having their range and stickiness at higher ranges pushed out, and for a short period of time sidearms absolutely ruled the Crucible meta. Drang was the king as its zoom, which means its effective range was a complete outlier. Now that Bungie has pulled back the zoom in line with other sidearms, it's not as much of an anomaly, but it still remains one of the best sidearms in the game. It's got one of the fastest optimal TTKs in the game at 0.6 seconds, so you will absolutely shred other close range options including SMGs if you hit your shots. It's obtainable from the Crown of Sorrow vendor at the HELM with 5 deep sight red border patterns. In terms of crafting the god roll, if you're on controller, I'd go for enhanced moving target to increase stickiness and enhanced zen moment to minimize recoil. For M&K players, I'd probably opt for Eye of the Storm and Rampage instead. In number 4, I had to pick a pulse rifle, and this one was an extremely tough choice. There were 2 great options here: Disparity, the harder hitting 450 RPM pulse rifle, capable of 2 bursting, or the 540 RPM rapid fire frame Peace of Mind. In the end, I opted for Peace of Mind as it not only is extremely lethal with a 3 burst TTK of 0.8 seconds, but it's extremely forgiving as it only requires 7 headshots out of 9 to achieve this. Compare this with Disparity, which requires a 100% headshot rate to achieve its optimal TTK. It's just not as forgiving in my eyes. Peace of Mind is obtainable from the war table at the HELM and requires 5 deep sight red border patterns. It fits a more fluid playstyle than Disparity in my eyes, with much higher handling, letting you run and gun more effectively and not penalize you for playing aggressively. For the crafted god roll for this one, I'd highly recommend either Perpetual Motion and Elemental Capacitor if you're playing a Void subclass for that massive stability boost, or Perpetual Motion and Moving Target for any other subclass. Remember to craft it with Arrowhead Break and to use Counterbalance, as you need that 100 recoil direction to make sure the burst is vertical and the recoil is easily controllable for those reliable 3 burst kills. For number 3 we have the sniper rifle, the Beloved. I cannot emphasize enough how good of a sniper rifle this is, and Bungie made it craftable. It has some of the best stats in the game: high aim assist, respectable handling, and it probably has the most accessible zoom value in the game, sitting at 40. 40 zoom is the sweet spot in my eyes, where it isn't so low zoom that it lacks aim assist, as remember, the higher the zoom the more the aim assist the sniper has, but it isn't too high zoom like a 50 zoom sniper where it feels clunky and unwieldy, especially when you're trying to snipe aggressively. The Beloved is again obtainable from the Crown of Sorrow vendor and requires 5 deep sight red border patterns to craft. For me, this is undoubtedly the best energy sniper rifle in the game, and it's the sniper of choice for slow game modes like Trials of Osiris, and also faster paced game modes like Comp or Scrims, where you may need to play more aggressively with your sniper. For perks, regardless of what input you're using, I'd recommend Snapshot with enhanced moving target, which gives even more aim assist than the regular version of the perk. Remember to craft it with Fluted Barrel and a handling masterwork, as handling is now key to making a sniper zoom in fast enough and feel really snappy. In number 2 we have the Ikelos SMG, which has taken over this season by storm, and in all honesty, I do not see it going away anywhere going into Lightfall. The Ikelos SMG is a 750 RPM SMG with a lightning fast TTK of 0.67 seconds. 750 RPMs only require 9 crits out of 11 to achieve this TTK, so not only do they have the same lethality as their 900 RPM counterparts like Funnel Web, but they're more forgiving. The Ikelos SMG has great stats within its family. It has more range, more aim assist, and way more stability than its compatriots. The lack of stability from some of the other 750 RPM SMGs really held them back, but the Ikelos feels like a laser beam. It has a great origin trait as well, which lets you refill the magazine when you break an enemy shield, which works in Crucible and can come in clutch for those 1v2 scenarios where you don't have time to reload. For controller players, I'd recommend Rangefinder with dynamic sway reduction. Rangefinder helps to push out the range to well over 20 meters, so you can shred those unsuspecting hand cannon users who accidentally come slightly too close. Dynamic sway reduction gives a massive bump to stability as you hold down the trigger for longer, coming in clutch near the end of a duel when you're getting flinched more and more. For M and K players, if you don't need that extra stability, then you can swap out DSR for something like Killing Wind so you can get even more range on kills. Finally, the top weapon that you absolutely cannot miss out on crafting before Lightfall is the 140 RPM hand cannon, the Austringer. The Austringer is the only 140 RPM hand cannon that is craftable, and now with AE changes being reverted and Strand shaping up to be the in-air class you'll want a god roll hand cannon to take into Lightfall. 148 RPM hand cannons are the defining weapon type of Destiny in my eyes. They manage to combine massive damage per shot with the ability to peek shoot, making it the weapon with the highest skill ceiling that can dominate in any meta throughout Destiny. They don't penalize you for playing aggressively, whether you're sliding or whether you're in the air. The Austringer in my eyes has access to some of the best perks in the game: Eye of the Storm, Opening Shot, and Rangefinder. Austringer is again obtainable from the Crown of Sorrow vendor and requires 5 deep sight red border patterns. The de facto god roll for both M&K and controller is Eye of the Storm with Rangefinder. Rangefinder pushes that range out to 35 meters plus, which is an absolute must so that you can duel against pulse rifles effectively. And Eye of the Storm is the S tier dueling perk for a hand cannon that increases your hitbox as you get deeper and deeper into a duel and negates the effect of Bloom, so you can hit that crucial third headshot when you're getting low health. If you miss out on this crafted Austringer, you will be at the mercy of RNG to get a good roll hand cannon. I will also say that with Strand coming out, it may also be worth crafting a high airborne effectiveness version of this gun, which would be using extended mag air assault with Icarus grip so that you can achieve 50 AE off the bat. Who knows, maybe Strand, Stompies, and an AE crafted hand cannon could be very viable next season. We'll just have to wait and see. So there you have it, guys, my top 5 PvP weapons you must craft before we head into Lightfall and before the Helm gets vaulted away. Who knows how easy or difficult it will be to get these red borders in a few weeks' time. If you found this video useful at all, slap that like button and remember to subscribe to the channel for more PvE and PvP content as we head into Lightfall. I'm Mr. Onnit, and that's it for today. Peace out, guys.